got good neighbors. We got bad neighbors. But here at Between Nerds, we only got Totoro. How you doing, nerds? This is Aldo Mendez. I'm here with Drew.
I thought you were going to say we only have nerdy neighbors.
Oh.
Hey guys, this is Drew Elias, co-host of Between Nerds podcast. This is episode 59?
59.
Of Between Nerds podcast. We are recording on September 1st.
September 1st.
Of 2021.
Yes, and this is an early recording because we might be camping this weekend.
We will be camping.
We're gonna cut shit up. We're gonna light shit on fire.
All about a flint. I can't wait to start a forest fire.
Hell yeah. Another one.
But just because it is the first episode of the month, at the beginning of this episode, we do want to tell you all this month's new nonprofit and hashtag. So, listen, nerds, for the month of September, September 2021, to help us support the El Paso Diabetes Association Incorporated, I need everyone listening to this in an original tweet or Instagram post to please use hashtag diabetic nerds. That is hashtag DIABIT. Fuck, I don't know how to spell diabetic.
Diabetic. DIABETIC.
Is it an E or is it another I?
Maybe a B. Maybe not. Yeah.
I have no idea. But anyways, please use hashtag diabetic nerds in an original tweet or Instagram post to be entered into our September giveaway.
Yes, September.
Yeah, you were right. It is an E.
Yes?
So please use hashtag DIABETICNERDS in original tweet or Instagram post.
Cool. Yes, and we'll be helping out, diabetic people here in El Paso. A lot of people are having trouble buying their insulin. My mom has diabetes. A lot of Latino people have diabetes because nobody told them that it's not okay to eat chips every day.
I thought it was the beans and meat with every meal thing.
Well, but that's that's a bean. A bean gives you iron. A bean gives you, But it's a complex carb.
Well, it's because I think Hispanic meals have a lot of carbs regardless. Because it's like you're saying. So it's like those that everything has fucking flour. Has flour and corn tortillas.
Tortilla, cheese, and salsa, bro.
Every sauce we use is just like covered in like a bunch of bullshit too.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably our second or third nonprofit related to medical stuff. The first one we ever did was the Autism Society of El Paso.
Autism. Then we did mental health.
Yeah, we did mental health in general.
Awareness. I think we only did awareness, and we didn't have a hashtag, but we did it for our first episodes.
We can roll back to some of these because these end up being some of my favorites. To be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
the ones that come right out of the gun.
And I'm glad you brought up like the price of insulin and stuff like that because like especially during COVID and everything, we're seeing like a lot more people are like aware and pissed about the rising cost of healthcare, and diabetes and insulin was one of the first examples people started giving like 4 or 5 years ago about how ridiculous our healthcare systems got.
Bro, it's so fucked up. I can't remember how long ago I heard about a story that like this lady started like portioning her servings, which you're not supposed to do when you have like real bad diabetes.
That's so disgusting.
And one day she couldn't just fucking do it. She couldn't get the money. She couldn't fucking pay anything. And she just ended up going to a parking lot and shooting on the rest of her insulin and, taking herself out.
You know what? I saw that. I saw that on Twitter or something.
Yeah, something like that happened.
Yeah. But see, that's so crazy. Like, you're just weeding out people for being poor. Like, that's so stupid.
Sick.
Like, there's 100 people in the United States with, like, a combined net value of, like, $600 billion. And you're telling me that there's people dying in parking lots from not being able to afford their insulin for a condition like that they were probably born with, if it's type 1 diabetes, or something that just kind of happened on accident if you have type 2 diabetes.
Or it's genetic, bro. Like,
you can have it
from real young.
Yeah, you can be like predestined almost.
Yeah,
predetermined to get it just based off of your genetics. Like type 1 especially, and type 2.
But thank you guys for listening. Please use a hashtag. I mean, this shit's fucked up. So, but yeah, as I was talking about neighbors, I got cool neighbors.
Hold on. And at the end of this episode, after our discussion on My Neighbor Totoro, we will be talking about the winner of our August giveaway. So thank you to everyone that used hashtag NerdyPause. We will announce the winner at the end.
Cool. So My Neighbor Totoro. What is it? What is it about, Drew? What is My Neighbor Totoro in the simplest of terms?
My Neighbor Totoro, the 1988 Studio Ghibli film, produced and
30 years ago, bro.
Written by almost 40, by Miyazaki. It is... What is My Neighbor Totoro in simpler terms? It is an original work that still kind of steals from Golden Era Disney.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've had this conversation all the time, that the Ghibli is fucking a studio that is the Japanese version of Disney.
Right. And,
you know?
and I guess maybe...
And it's so cheap to say that because it's not like, yeah, the animation's similar. Yeah, the stories revolve about maybe some girl having like this fantastic adventure, but like some of the titles like Grave of the Fireflies, what's the fucking other one? Oh, god damn it. It's getting my head. Princess Mononoke.
Oh, yeah.
Princess Mononoke was pretty rough around the edges.
And Princess Mononoke reminded me of Disney too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. But it's not the same as Disney. I mean, you're not seeing a princess get swept off her feet every fucking movie.
But going back to describing My Neighbor Totoro, it's a Disney film without a plot, almost.
Actually, Disney did the 2005 dub for...
Right.
My Neighbor Totoro.
I saw that. I did see that. And they of course, Disney bought up some rights to some original bullshit just because it's Disney.
Correct, yes. They have all the money in the world.
They just have all the money in the world.
Like, the only reason they can't get Spider-Man is because the government won't let them.
Because the government of Japan?
No, Disney can't buy Sony Studios. Because at that point, it will make it like more of a monopoly.
I thought Sony just didn't want to give it up. Because isn't the contract that they have to make a film every 7 years?
Yeah, but like so Sony will never give Spider-Man to them, right? Unless they got bought by Disney. That's the only way they can get it.
I knew that, but I haven't heard any of this monopoly thing.
It's like how Disney's been buying a lot of studios. Mm-hmm. I think the government won't let them buy it.
Why would they single out somebody over a film and not like buying
isn't there
Fox
a thing
20
that you
Studios?
can't monopolize like an industry?
Yeah, but like people still get away with it all the time.
Really?
Sprint and T-Mobile had a merger last year.
Virgin T-Mobile?
Sprint and T-Mobile?
Oh, Sprint and T-Mobile? Yeah,
two of the four biggest like cell phone carriers just created a almost monopoly.
But there are four of them. There's not just one of them.
Okay, there's still...
I don't know.
Maybe
I don't know a lot about the subject of how many monopolies are going through right now. Yeah, there's a shitload of business, but then like those businesses own other businesses and own other businesses.
The Sacklers just got away with no criminal charges for producing OxyContin, bro.
Yeah,
the government doesn't care about us.
They know. I care about movies.
Imagine you turn tens of millions of people into drug addicts and the government was like, nah,
my bad.
Nah, it's all right, bro. Mm-hmm. You're sorry, right? You're sorry? Okay, cool.
They're fucking... I just remember that going to like the hospital with my mom for a while, like when she was in and out of the hospital. Doctors are very weird about prescribing OxyContin or even giving like painkillers to patients. Because of the current talks about it, that they were like, yo, a lot of doctors are getting away with fucking murder because they're just prescribing this shit like hotcakes. Which
is like already too late to give a shit. Yeah. Like, if anything, you should have gave a fuck in the 80s and the 90s when everybody was actually abusing OxyContin and turned into... What are we talking about? We're talking about My Neighbor Totoro. We are talking about a children's movie. We're talking about a PG... It might be G-rated film. It is G-rated.
It is G-rated.
It came out as a two-parter to Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, absolutely. Great plan. From what I heard, from what I was reading, it was that Miyazaki, right?
Miyazaki.
He had trouble selling this story to a lot of like somebody to pick it up to make the
Grave
movie.
of the Fireflies.
No.
My Neighbor Totoro was having a hard time being sold to a studio?
Yes. So they created Grave of the Fireflies so they can prove themselves to they can do something serious.
Yeah.
And then just and
what?
Yeah, bro.
That feels like it would be the opposite, bro. I could imagine like a studio head being like, nah, Grave of the Fireflies is too controversial. And they'll be like, okay, we'll give you a stupid kids movie.
No, they like Grave of the Fireflies.
Wow.
Like the studio picked it up, yeah. And that's what I'm saying, because the story, we talked about this story right before we opened the mic, what's fucking Totoro about?
There's no fucking plot. It's about the craziest thing is just it's Studio Ghibli in the sense that like it's just all these animators just touching themselves to their own animation product. Mm-hmm. It's just, especially for 1988, it looks crazy detailed for 1988.
That's fucking, like I said, almost 40 years ago.
And it's trees in the wind and shit. So there's really somebody there like drawing like trees blowing in the wind and they're flying through the sky in 1988, which is the wildest
frame
thing.
After frame after frame after frame.
Yeah. We're going to throw 64 frames in a second and you have to animate all these leaves moving.
And somebody's like, yeah, all right, cool.
Hell yeah. No. I trained for years for this.
Yeah, just one microscopic leaf on the end.
But like talking plot wise, it's a very Japanese spiritual story in the sense that like the forest has a personality. Like there's spirits in the forest, and it's also like very Disney in the sense that it's like a child's imagination at the same time. Like is the plot and the characters in My Neighbor Totoro real, or is it just a child's imagination going on an adventure?
So apparently Miyazaki almost projected himself in this movie because his mother was also sick when he was growing up.
Bro, I thought the mom was gonna die.
Yeah, dude. Obviously.
Bro, and especially because the art style, because it was produced at the same time as Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, like she's in the hospital? Oh, fuck.
It's the exact same art style. So my stupid brain cannot unsee Grave of the Fireflies. And I'm just like, holy shit, the mom's in the hospital. The kids are getting lost in the forest. There's a giant monster. Somebody's dead. Yeah. Everyone is about to die. Nothing like
and
this.
That's what they serve you at the end when they think Mia, what was her name, May? May is lost. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's what they serve you.
Yeah. I was like, this girl's gonna end up dead. They're gonna find her in the forest. It's gonna be fucking,
or it's gonna be like she's in a happy world, but she's in heaven, quote unquote, and she'll be fucking dead. That's where my brain was going.
It reminded me of like, in middle school, did you ever read The Bridge to Terabithia? Or that might have been elementary school age book.
I think, it was a movie as well, right?
It's about these two... No, it is a movie. I forgot they did a movie for it. It's just about these two dumbass kids playing in a creek and like playing on like a tire swing and like rope swings across like trees and shit. And then one day, like... the main character's a dude, but then the girl like kind of just disappears and nobody knows where they are. And then the boy's like, oh, maybe she's at the bridge to Terabithia at the fucking rope swing across the creek and she's dead. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was gonna be something like that. Yeah. It was like she went playing and they're just gonna find her corpse.
Yeah. It takes you there because again, like you were saying, your brain just starts fucking doping Grave of the Fireflies. And Miyazaki, his mom was sick and they were not made, but like they decided to move closer to the hospital. So that's what we see here in this movie too.
That part was very confusing for me because like the dad and his two daughters buy a house out in the countryside to be close to the mom's hospital, but like maybe I was just thinking U.S. geography. Like, wouldn't you be moving into the city because all like the medical schools and like the really acclaimed hospitals?
The hospital was a bad place to be back then.
That's awful. That's so scary. Because like I guess if how Miyazaki was writing when he was a kid, that would have been what, the 60s?
Probably.
So yeah, I think you have a point. Like, holy fuck! Like I don't want to be in a hospital in the 60s.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a hospital right now.
There's too much COVID.
But yeah, so that's where you start seeing the story. And the first time I watched it, I completely thought the same as you, but I had to read into this or look something about it. But yeah, that makes a lot more sense to the story. And he talks about that this movie is what children do in a hard situation, which is just wonder and be...
It's because, like, kids even more so don't register it, or they choose not to almost. Like,
and I feel like this movie's trying to do that because the fact that the mom is sick is not really a big point. It's not really like something stressful or anything.
Right. They bring it up once, my anxiety speaks, and like the mom's fine. She's like
sitting up, she's eating, she's
talkative. Yeah. She's just in a hospital bed. She's just in a rural hospital in
I'm
a
like
hospital.
looking over the mic because I can't see you while you're talking to me.
And so the like really early on, they try sprinkling in like the themes of Japanese Taoism, which is like the traditional like
Shrine.
Yeah, it's like the shrine worshiping kind of thing, where like certain elements have a spirit about them, like a god almost. Like there's a creek sprite, there's a forest sprite soul thing, like in Princess Mononoke.
We talked about this like a couple of weeks ago about the foxes too, how they're like
We were talking about the Green Knight.
Yeah, there you go.
And how foxes are like spirit guides.
Tsushima, yeah.
Yeah. And the Totoro here is exactly like the god spirit thing from Princess Mononoke almost.
Well, we don't even see Toro till like
40
minutes into the movie, but we do see this little sprites, which reminded me a lot about the little sprites or little spiders from Howl's Moving Castle.
They're the exact same ones, because even in My Neighbor Totoro, they call them soot sprites. In Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, they call them soot sprites. Well, no, I think I'm thinking Spirited Away, because in Spirited Away, for sure, they used the term soot sprites when they were discussing the boiler room. And how the demon in the boiler room...
The spider guy?
Yeah, the guy with like 8 arms had cursed a bunch of pieces of soot to like carry charcoal for him into the furnace. Which is like the same thing here. They're the exact same character model. They make the same exact stupid sound. They're called the exact same name. They're soot sprites. Which... really early on, we meet like an elderly woman character who's treated as like the adopted grandmother. She's just like their neighbor.
Right off the bat. Oh, you can call her grandma. Well, I'm not going to call you grandma,
I'm not calling
lady.
you stranger grandma.
Yeah. No.
You can call me granny.
But it's a very simple time. You can tell, like, even though this was made in 88, it's probably going back even further than that.
Yeah, it looks like the 60s or the 70s or something.
Really? You think so? I think it's going back a little bit more than 60s. Probably
there was a truck.
Yeah, okay.
The very first scene has a truck in it.
You're right. Trucks were innovated in the 50s?
Commercial trucks, no?
Oh, okay. But, yeah, in the 60s. But it is a very simple house, because they move into this house and they find, like, acorns on the ground.
Tin roof, acorns everywhere, it's dirty as fuck, it's out in the middle of, like, rice and cornfields, and it's, like, you would almost expect like a dub like this to give the rural characters like southern accents almost.
Yeah.
Which we've seen in anime before. Like if they're portraying like a Japanese person that's from like a rural part of Japan, they'll give them an American southern accent. Yeah. Just to reaffirm that like, no, they're from the country.
Yeah. But I think in the Disney dub, is the Fanning sisters that do the voices of the two girls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Dakota Fanning and the other one. I don't know who the other one is.
I
never heard of it. Yeah, me neither.
I definitely don't know.
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning and Elle Fanning.
There you go.
And it's so right away I'm talking about in the very beginning of the thing, like the things that the art style's reminding me of. It feels exactly like the beginning of Spirited Away, because the plot at the beginning of Spirited Away was a family is moving out to the country to a new rural house, and it's through this large winding road where it almost seems like they're going to get lost. And there's the same kind of the scene that like introduces them to like spirits in the world, where there's a tunnel almost, because it's the same exact metaphor of like entering another way of seeing things, another world almost, that Spirited Away gave, which I'm almost doing My Neighbor Totoro like a disservice by comparing it to Spirited Away, because Spirited Away came out like 20 years later. But it's just because like I've seen Spirited Away so much, I'm seeing all these different inspirations in it.
Well, on Spirited Away, we talked a lot about like the theme of the effects of the decisions that you make, you know what I'm saying? The consequences of your own actions, and taking, And
there are no consequences to anybody's actions in My Neighbor Totoro.
Especially in my life.
It wants to be cute right away, because it reminds me of Ponyo too, because the little girl Mai, the younger sister of the two sisters, she looks like a frog almost. She reminds me of how Ponyo looks when she starts transforming into a fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've seen this same character like in what Spirited Away as well. In Howl's Moving Castle.
Who's the child in Howl's Moving Castle?
Oh, the little helper.
Yeah. The thing about Studio Ghibli that I guess you're pointing out is that even though a lot of these films are made for young children, they draw young children, like 4 or 5-year-olds, super ugly for some reason.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, they look all weird.
They look like little...
Probably like a 5-year-old would.
Just like giant heads, big mouths, and...
Uncoordinated bodies.
Uncoordinated bodies, and they're all wearing diapers.
Yeah.
It like the house is like terrifying for the girls at first, because it's like not only are they seeing like literal beams and pillars from like the patio falling away, but it's a tin roof. So like really early on, like one of the first nights they spend in the house, they're taking like a bath together as a family, and the wind's blowing so hard it sounds like there's a fucking monster outside. Like I can't imagine like a metal on a roof kind of sound, like
just sheets.
That sounds terrible.
Crazy. Yeah.
Is that what it was like growing up in Juarez?
Yeah, it was, brother. Yeah, it was. No, but luckily I didn't have any metal walls or any metal roofs. But I've been in a shed with that shit while raining, so I know what it sounds like.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And the girls they're excited about it though, because like as opposed to Spirited Away, where she was like, "Oh, you're moving me away from my friends. You're moving me out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere."
Pouty.
Yeah, pouty. Like the Kusakabe girls here, they're excited about everything. There's fucking dirt and grass on the ground. They're like, "Holy shit! There's grass. We've never seen grass. It's not in the city before. There's acorns out here.
There's nothing. Well, there's people out here working. What? It's crazy.
They're working the field like some regular poor people."
And then they're looking at the house and they're like, "Look at this pole. It's almost falling down." Blah blah blah. Like what you're saying about that shit, but they're doing it very lightly, very.
Which again feels like classic, like golden age Disney almost. Like,
but then again, the theme of their mom dying, it's in the background.
Yeah,
and you forget about it.
Well, in the beginning, they don't introduce it. They don't introduce it right away, because like that was one of the first things I was thinking. It was like, where's the mom? Where's like I see the dad, I see the two daughters. And the thing about anime that's like the joke trope at this point is that like there's no such thing as a happy family in anime. Like one of the parents is either dead or they're both dead.
Yeah.
It just never happens that somebody.
It's not interesting to have a good life.
It's sad that like everyone in Japan thinks like that.
But yeah, we don't know yet. That's right. You're right. But then again, we get fixated on the name Totoro, on the character Totoro, just like we did with Princess Mononoke. We were like, where the fuck is the princess?
Yeah, exact same thing. I don't know when the fuck we're gonna learn this lesson. That like every
not
studio,
the title and not the cover is gonna be the thing that it's about.
I think Ponyo's the same way too. I think Ponyo, like 20 minutes in, you meet Ponyo.
Yeah, definitely. And you're like, what? Sea creature? She's running through surf.
You know what? How's Moving Castle? Like it takes a full 15 minutes too. Because it's her in the hat shop for like 15 minutes, isn't it?
Nah, she's there for very little.
Oh, okay. Maybe they introduce him sooner in House Moving Castle. But like the rest of these, for sure, it takes forever to introduce like the titular character.
But Howl's Moving Castle title makes sense to a movie of Howl's Moving Castle movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and you're saying My Neighbor Totoro shouldn't?
Kinda. No, it makes sense. Don't get me wrong. I also read about like some Miyazaki's answers to this, that the reason of like Totoro being there, I guess his view of like gods is that gods live in such a problematic like environment that when they do end up vacationing or leaving whatever that place is, they pick something calm like a forest, or you know, like a fucking spring somewhere up in the mountain. Have
you ever heard or like learned the background story to Journey to the West?
I heard about it. I don't know if I know what you're talking about.
Journey to the West is like a classic epic, like the way like the Greeks and the Romans treated an epic, except it's a Chinese. I think it's Chinese. It's a Chinese epic.
know what you're talking
That's
about.
also the original inspiration for the original Dragon Ball.
Correct. Yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, and I hear what you're saying, and that quote that you're describing from Miyazaki reminds me of what I understand the plot to Journey to the West to be. Because the Journey to the West is about a monkey god called Sun Wukong being like thrown out of heaven and like the land of the gods basically for being a prankster. And him taking this journey to the West and like trying to help the Buddha and everything is him trying to get back into heaven.
Correct.
So what you're describing the Totoro, like being out of that chaotic environment and like just wanting to live inside of a giant tree,
which is the house, which is the tree next to the house, and that's why it's your neighbor Totoro.
Yeah. And talking about the design for the Totoro, he's like a 10 feet tall squirrel rabbit with the pattern of like a barn owl on his chest, and he's got human teeth.
It almost reminds me of like a super giant chunky Snorlax version of the cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, like the Cheshire Cat. Yeah. That's exactly what Karen said. Because like Karen walked in the house when I was like 20 minutes in the movie, and she's like, "Why the fuck is there a giant Cheshire Cat in this movie?" And it's the human teeth part, which is the creepiest part of the entire design. Because he's like a giant fluffy rabbit raccoon thing, and then you see his giant toothy human grin come out, and I thought at a certain point when I'm still thinking like creepy shit like Grave of the Fireflies that he was gonna eat them. I was like, once May found him, like, because she's just, the dad's a professor, and he's not only trying to get ready for like the semester and school and teaching, but his fucking wife is like in a cancer hospital. So he's not paying attention to his daughter May, like the youngest one, while his older daughter's at school. So when she first meets Totoro, it's because she just like wanders into the tree shrine. Yeah. And it was through the shrine at first because like,
oh, you're right.
To get to their house, to like up their village, there's like a pathway up the shrine, up the giant tree where the Totoro lives, and there was like a secret passage. That's how May got in, because she's a small child. And I thought she was gonna get eaten. I thought it was really gonna be like some Spirited Away shit where he's either gonna like drag her to the underworld
and she's dead,
or like that thing's just with his human teeth gonna flat out eat her. But it turns out he's just
taking a nap, bro.
Yeah, he's just this bored giant cat that's just sleeping.
Like, and then he's just, that girl May climbs on him and like rubs his belly, and he's like,
It's like how you would expect like a child to hang out. Like, if you've ever seen a kid hang out with like a really big old dog, like a really old German Shepherd or something, they just like rub his belly and just kind of lay on it. It's what it looked like.
Yeah, and that's it. And then like, we're like, oh shit, well that's cool, they just took a nap. And then we cut to like a scene where the sister's coming back into the house after school or something like that.
She's like, hey, where's May?
And then, I don't know, I thought she was with you.
I haven't seen May in hours.
And then we're like again, your fucking holy shit triggers going off in your head. Fucking Grave of the Fireflies flashbacks in the back, and dude, it's like Vietnam, I'm telling you, it's crazy.
But it's still not that bad. They just fucking find her.
They find her. She comes back, she's like, hey, I found more air guns. I took a nap with Totoro. It's like, shut the fuck up, little kid, and come back inside.
Well, Satsuki finds her just in the dirt at first, like inside of the tree. And again, it feels like Alice in Wonderland-y. Like, is this really happening, or is this like the imagination of a child? Did she just fall asleep inside of this little thicket brush? Or was she like kicked out of the Totoro's domain, and that's where Satsuki found her? So that's what, and especially the part where May falls into the tree reminded me so much of falling into the rabbit hole for Alice in Wonderland. It's the exact same scene.
You've seen the new Alice in Wonderland? No?
The live action one?
Yeah.
The live action ones that are all green screen work? Yeah. No, I haven't.
You haven't seen it? Me and V saw the first one the other day.
There's more than one?
It's well,
why is there more than one?
It's that one, and then through
the
looking mirror? Through the looking mirror?
Through the looking glass?
Through the looking glass, there you go.
No, I haven't seen them.
We saw the first one, and we're like, what? Because it's like after the first time that she fell into the hole. And it's later on, and she forgets that she was there. So everybody's calling her Alice, but she's like, I am Alice, but I don't think I'm the Alice that you're thinking. And then like the Mad Hatter is like, you're right, you're not that Alice right now. And like, I don't know, it just turns into this mind fuck for her, because I don't know, it's a story about women getting oppressed.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Alice in Wonderland. Well, the original Disney Alice in Wonderland came out in 1951.
51?
51.
Dude, look up
51.
Snow White. Look up Snow White.
I can't believe. I was gonna say like, I bet Alice in Wonderland came out in like the 70s or something.
Nope. Look up Snow White.
In 1937, bitch.
That bitch is older than Superman.
How did they animate this shit in 1937? It reminded me a lot of is Snow White the one with the dwarves?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It reminded me of Snow White too. Like the part where the girls are like exploring the house together. At first, it reminded me of like the opening scene to Snow. Well, one of the first scenes to Snow White.
There's only one girl.
No, the two girls. The two sisters?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
No, not Snow White.
Oh.
In My Neighbor Totoro, the two sisters. So the one
Sorry.
of the first scenes
Wrong podcast.
in My Neighbor Totoro, where the girls are exploring the house and they're finding the soot sprites and everything, reminded me of one of the first scenes in Snow White, where she finds the dwarves' house and she's just like fucking shit up and eating their food and just
yeah, eating your soups
just
and
jerking
shit.
it on their beds.
Jerking everywhere.
But see, that's what also reminded me of fuck, you told me right before we started recording the movie about the bears and the porridge and the Goldilocks. It reminds me of like Goldilocks because they're going through somebody else's house almost. Because like even this granny character we meet early on is just like, yo, this house is totally fucking haunted. There's totally spirits in here.
Yeah.
But y'all feel safe here.
And I mean, the girls. I don't know. The entire movie is just a family. It honestly is the girls. Like we don't even see the dad. Dad.
May's the main character, basically.
Yeah, we know that the dad is working.
He's a professor.
He's a professor
at university.
And it's funny that Miyazaki's dad was a engineer as well.
His dad was a nerd.
Yep, we were all nerds. But yeah. So the girls are just leaving this house while the dad is getting shit moved into the house. The new grandma is helping clean the house. And the whole movie feels so. And again, I'm fixated at this point on the fucking name Totoro. I'm waiting for Totoro. I'm like, where the fuck's Totoro?
I was waiting for conflict. I'm like, this shit looks way too happy for just
This is
shit to
coming.
be like this. There
Yeah.
has to be some giant revelation, or like some giant natural disaster, or just some fuck shit's gonna happen, and it just never happens. I want the whole movie being like,
when
yo,
your asshole fucking. What do you call it? Clenched?
I'm not thinking about people's assholes while watching children's movies.
I was
all
clenching my
tremendous.
asshole when I was watching this movie because I knew something.
Why the fuck?
I thought I was gonna see something bad, bro.
I thought something bad too. I thought something like definitely bad was gonna happen. So like they keep going over this scene where they're grabbing like water from a creek, little rickety wood bridge that's on the way to their house. I'm like, one of these dumb bitches is gonna fall into this river and they're gonna find her fucking corpse.
You're fucking pointing out something very good that in the little fucking chores that they do, you always think something's gonna happen. You're like, oh, she's gonna fall in the fucking creek, she's gonna fucking drown. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. And then like
It's like cheating your expectations, but like for the opposite.
Exactly.
Which is the weirdest thing.
And then like they meet this other little dude, right? Their neighbor. I can't remember what his name is.
Granny's actual grandson.
But, yeah, and they don't have like a relation. Like she's more at the house that she's with that guy.
Is it Tatsuo?
Tatsuo.
No, that's the father.
No, that's the dad.
Kanta Ogaki. Kanta, they call him Kanta.
Kanta. And I'm like, okay,
Kanta.
Something bad is gonna happen to this kid.
Something's gonna happen to Kanta.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna turn into like My Girl? Is that the one Macaulay Culkin dies with the bee stings?
I've never heard of it. What? Macaulay Culkin, like from Home Alone?
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin? No, I have no idea what you're describing.
No, a movie. I think it's called My Girl, and like it was I think it was before or right after Home Alone, but I think it was before Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin is this fucking nerdy ass kid who falls in love with this girl. Which he moves to a new town, almost like this.
The movie takes place in the 50s.
This movie?
Totoro takes place in the 50s.
Cool. And yeah, like they fall in love, and he's allergic to bees, and then he gets swarmed by bees at the end.
And then he dies.
And he dies, bro.
And that's how he dies.
And he dies, bro.
The thing about Kanta's character that terrified me again, like I I really want to know, like, what order these were played in for the double feature. Like, Grave of the Fireflies and My Neighbor Totoro. I really want to know which was played first, because
it had to be Grave, because they can't leave you with Grave of the Fireflies.
Because that's what's terrifying about it. That's what I'm describing, because, like, the content character is wearing, like, this cadet's hat that reminds me of the exact same fucking hat that the boy was wearing in Grave of the Fireflies.
Like a uniform hat.
Yeah, like a Japanese military World War II hat. I'm like, this little boy's gonna fucking die or something. He looks just like the guy from Grave of the Fireflies. He's gonna end up dead in a lake or something. And he's working in rice fields, and like he's dealing with pitchforks and like juggling hay and shit. I'm like, he's gonna get poked on some farm equipment. They're gonna find him dead in the rice field.
Yeah, some cow's gonna eat him or something.
I can't believe like people have tried to describe My Neighbor Totoro outside of the context of Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah,
I can't imagine trying to discuss My Neighbor Totoro without discussing Grave of the Fireflies. It's so like they just it gives
you flashbacks of the movie.
It's a wild directing decision. Like,
you know what I just saw?
What?
That we're in September, and the 21st night of September he dies.
Who?
The kid from Grave of the Fireflies. Yeah.
We should have gone to York New City on September 1st.
Oh fuck, dude, that movie's so sad.
Shout out to Hunter x Hunter.
I think about that shit. Oh damn.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They met on September 1st in York New City.
You're right. Yeah.
Shout out to Hunter x Hunter.
Shout out to Hunter x Hunter.
But yeah, so like I'm just it's so smart, and I feel like
he's better talking about it.
Miyazaki needs more credit for like producing these not only back to back, but like subverting expectations in the way he did.
Like opposite spectrums.
Yeah, opposite spectrums. But like you described it as PTSD earlier. Like it feels like PTSD. Like I am so traumatized from Grave of the Fireflies that I can't watch this G-rated fucking children's flick.
And don't get me wrong, I preferred it this way. I prefer this movie giving me fucking flashbacks of Grave of the Fireflies than me watching Totoro first and me going in brand new to Grave of the Fireflies. Oh, this is gonna be great.
It's not even that. I there'd be nothing to talk about for My Neighbor Totoro if you were just talking about like
My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, there'd be nothing to talk about.
I don't know. It's great. Now that we're talking about it, it seems more interesting than I thought it was.
It's just. I thought the mom was gonna be really sickly because they do this whole like 10-minute sequence of like the dad and the girls on a bike the first time they show the mom. Like, we have to travel to the hospital. Your mom's a fucking leper hidden in the forest or some shit.
You just said the 50s, right?
50s.
Yeah, this fucking country. Fuck that, dude. It's gonna be. You ever travel to Texas? You see how big those ranches are? That's just fucking ridiculous.
They are also dirty.
They're also very dirty.
They are also very dirty. Mm-hmm. They can't have abortions either. but yeah, so like they're setting this up like this whole long sequence in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's like not even a hospital where the mom's at. It's like assisted living almost. Like it's a bunch of
people that are doing well.
Yeah, it's a bunch of sheds out in the forest. I'm like, holy fuck. Like,
so I don't know if I'm mistaken, but she had tuberculosis.
I don't even remember it being described.
No?
I literally do not remember it being described.
Or maybe I'm just doing that correlation because I think Miyazaki's mom was sick with tuberculosis.
And tuberculosis in the 50s, nobody recovered. We didn't have penicillin back then. Like, nobody was being treated for tuberculosis properly.
Bro, you know what's crazy? I remember getting, like, my first memory of getting vaccines was in Juarez, right? Mm-hmm. I remember happy faces, happy kids, happy moms about getting their vaccines. Like, you're getting your vaccines today, mijito. Like, you don't have to worry about this shit, and that, blah, blah. And
you don't gotta worry about polio.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody's just like, oh, cool, vaccines, fuck yeah. That's what you get in the fucking thing.
I always use you and Baby Zaid as like an example when I'm talking to people about vaccines
Mexicans?
now. No, when I'm talking to people about vaccines nowadays, because like even at work, like everyone I work with like 60, 70 years old. So I have nothing else to talk about but like the pandemic, right? Uh-huh. So when I'm describing things like, yeah, my friend just had a kid and that baby just got a booster shot for polio. Like, how the fuck are we worried about polio? But there's really people out here being like, nah, I'm good with COVID. I'll risk that one.
Yeah, I'll risk that one.
But I took that polio shot in the fucking 50s. What are you talking
you know
about?
those were thick.
What are you talking
Thick
about?
fluids. You know those were thick fluids, bro. I remember getting this one. Like in 8th grade, I was already over here in El Paso. I remember getting this one shot that it was thick as fuck and it hurt. Like those thick shots. Have you ever gotten like a vitamin shot or some shit like that?
No.
No? Like my brother got a vitamin shot in his knee because his knee what's that cushion called? The
Cartilage?
Cartilage was wearing off, so they do like a little vitamin shot to like
Did he play football?
Basketball.
Oh, okay.
And he said it hurt a lot because that shit was thick, dude. Like it was a thick needle.
It's disgusting.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shit sucks.
You have a smallpox scar.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? Like, there's people... How do we get on this? We're talking about tuberculosis and disease.
Hey, it's bad. Tuberculosis. You don't want that shit.
And, like, that's what's crazy. Like, imagine how...
Side tangent. Hashtag side tangent.
Hashtag side tangent. If you enjoyed our side tangent, please
Yes.
reach out to us on social media at Between Nerds. Or email us about how much you loved it or what else you want us to side tangent about.
Side tangent.
Oh, fuck. What are we even talking about? The kids go back to the house. Okay, the mom's she's in a hospital bed. She's like, okay, I'll be home soon. The dad's like, okay, look, you stupid girls. Like, the mom's fine. Like, she's gonna be totally okay. And I'm like, the mom totally dies by the end of this movie. There's no way the mom survives by the end of this movie. And I hate how, like, it's funny how wrong I am while watching it.
It's because those expectations make this movie, like, think that it wasn't worthwhile. You're like, where's my hurt? It's like, I was expecting hurt, and you never gave me
I
hurt.
hate that it was a happy ending. I'm like, bullshit! Boo! Boo! This was all happy, and like I had all that anxiety for nothing. This is stupid.
Like, imagine seeing like a version of the Titanic when it doesn't sink.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, guys, that was scary. Sure glad we got out of that situation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that's how this shit looks like. Like, especially with knowing, like, and I'm sorry we're fucking, like, bringing out Grave with the Fireflies a lot, but if you haven't watched Grave with the Fireflies, listen to our episode of Grave with the Fireflies, Acura and Perfect Blue, and then watch Grave with the Fireflies.
Yeah, and like like I'm never gonna watch Grave with the Fireflies again. Probably not for like another decade.
I was having side tangent. I was having this conversation with my girls' cousins because they're like, oh, well, we talked about this last week. They're like, oh yeah, he likes that shit too. He likes that anime shit, and like he likes that guy with the spiky hair. I'm like, which fucking one? But
Goner Goku, pick one.
I'm like, it's because you don't understand. Like, those cartoons that your kids like are aimed at your kids.
Yeah.
Like, anime is so much more than that. For example, if you wanna be able to connect with your kids and stuff like that, watch Grave with the Fireflies. Like, if you wanna relate to an anime with your kids, you don't want to say you want to relate to your kids, and
I'm not showing any child Grave with the Fireflies.
No, well, why not?
Bro, that people die. It's literally all about war and famine. I am not showing that to a child.
I'm pretty sure there was kids back in 1988 watching The Grave of the Fireflies, followed by My Neighbor Totoro.
I'm glad you brought that up, because like while I'm watching this, did you ever watch The Black Cauldron?
I watch anything when I never had any restrictions on movies, but no, I haven't watched it.
Okay, The Black Cauldron is also like a Disney movie from like the 60s or the 50s, whenever the fuck.
Nope.
But it's like it's a wizardy thing, like the King Arthur one, like the Sword and Stone one, except it's so dark. Like it's horrific. Like it's so fucking freaky and like scary that I remember being like 3 years old with like my parents screaming and yelling and getting divorced in the background, watching The Black Cauldron, and like,
and see, you didn't think about your mom dying. You were thinking about.
But I remember I couldn't finish The Black Cauldron.
Oh, okay.
And I remember being so terrified at 3 years old. Like my parents like had rented it for me from like Blockbuster or something, and like I couldn't even finish it one time through. And my mom was like, "You want to watch it again?" No, I don't want to watch that fucking movie again. I can't.
That was horrible.
That was horrible.
No, this is your favorite movie. Watch it.
Why did you rent that for me? it like I imagine that experience, but like as a child watching Grave of the Fireflies, like so freaky and uncomfortable that I can't imagine a child sitting through that.
Well, to be fair, their kids are very mature for their age, and they're very well behaved, and they're very like they know what the fuck's going on.
Whose children?
My cousin's children.
Oh, okay.
My girl's cousin's children.
Oh, okay.
Yes. If you have a stupid ass kid, yeah, don't show him that.
I feel like people younger than us are kind of more mature in like a really weird way. Like when I see, so I'm on TikTok a lot, and it makes me feel like a boomer sometimes because like it's new social media, so it's a bunch of like 17, 18, 19-year-olds, like it's a bunch of Gen Z people, and the way they treat things is like sad and hilarious because everything is like a joke because they don't have a set future because the world's falling apart, right?
Mm-hmm. They're just like,
so everything's kind of evil and fucked up, but like hilarious that they just have to joke about it. And what point was I trying to make? To that same point, I remember reading a statistic in like January or February, and me and Karen were driving back from San Antonio this past time, about how as of 2021, early 2021, teenagers have the highest rate of being virgins, like in recorded history, like in the past 20, 30 years or some shit. And that makes me just think about like how younger generations treat shit, because it's just like, no, I'm gonna go play video games, or I'm gonna go watch some bullshit on Twitch, as opposed to getting into the hood rat stupid shit that like I feel like us as millennials were getting into at that time. Like I've heard people joke about weed being like a boomer drug or something. Like why would I smoke weed?
Like, no, old man, get the fuck out of here.
yeah, exactly. Like who does that?
I'm gonna go eat a Tide Pod. I don't know if you want.
But younger than that, millennials were the ones eating Tide Pod.
Yeah, definitely.
The Gen Z is just addicted to fucking e-cigarettes.
To what?
To e-cigarettes, so electronic cigarettes.
Oh, e-cigarettes. Yeah. Some mango jewels.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
bring those back.
How was I trying to relate this to My Neighbor Totoro?
In some weird way, we're just talking
You brought up your girl's cousins.
Grave with the Fireflies. I was sorry about bringing Grave with the Fireflies, but Grave with the Fireflies was a good movie. Good enough movie to get somebody started as an adult.
Okay. I would start with, like, Akira, maybe. Like, you just want to see some wild shit for 90 minutes? Like, you just want to go on just see some stupid shit. We can get hammered, grab some beers, and just see some wild shit for 90 minutes? Like, watch Akira.
Yeah. But I think Akira needs a little bit of...
It's too anime-y for an intro level.
It's too, yeah, I think so.
It's too much of an anime, because it's like, why do these kids have psychic power?
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to try to logic their ways through it, and I'm like, shh.
Yeah, they're going to be like, where's Totoro? Where's Princess Mononoke? Yeah.
Watch the sad one about the dying World War II children.
Yeah.
That's what you really need.
Everybody loves Pearl Harbor. Everybody read the Mockingbird.
You know what? I think what you were saying earlier about My Neighbor Totoro, you thought it was going to be older, like some World War II shit. Mm-hmm. The 50s were exactly after World War II. So, yeah.
It's a simple time, because, I mean, you see a lot of farming, you see a very big country, and we didn't even see the city, but I can't imagine being that big, because they rode in what you call a commercial truck, but it was more of a trike fucking truck. Little ones from Japan back in the days.
Right. It's a pickup truck with 3 wheels.
Yeah.
Which looked really stupid and funny.
It looks like it's running like on a lawnmower motor.
Yeah. And talking... I'm sorry we keep jumping, but going back to the first time like May meets the Totoro, like the Totoro is a beaver, rabbit, squirrel, owl thing, but it also has these giant bear claws. Snorlax. I thought, like, that thing was gonna cut her at some point. Again, like, I'm just so PTSD'd and my expectations are so different. It has these ginormous, like, 12-inch claws on its hand. And I'm like, it's about to stab this girl. Is that what's gonna happen here? And it's gonna be about, like, the girl getting lost in the forest and it was all a dream and really she was just tripping in the forest by herself and they find her dead?
Probably.
That's what I thought was gonna be the plot.
Or, like, some fucking, Mice of Men, where he just kills the fucking puppy.
I haven't thought of Mice of Men in a long time.
That's a great story, man.
That was really sad.
Yeah, he gets off. What's his name? Tim? Tommy?
I don't remember. That shit's
Billy?
awful. So you thought he was going to put down the violent tendency, like, special needs child?
Yeah, probably. Or like that gentle, like, I love you so much.
Oh. I don't even want to, like, give background of Mice and Men. It's so sad. But,
yeah.
Because, like, I don't know where I heard this, but I think I must have heard it in like a movie or something that like children have like closer ties to nature and like spirits and stuff maybe, and like that's why like in some horror flicks, especially from the 80s, it's like the kids that see the ghost first, like in Poltergeist. Mm-hmm. And I thought that's like that is what was happening with mine, because later on, May because she keeps getting like lost in the forest trying to find the Totoro or whatever. The granny neighbor starts like watching her during the day. Uh-huh. And then like halfway through the movie, May's just crying because she wants to go to the school and see her sister. And I'm like, this bitch saw a ghost that's about to murder her family or something. Uh-huh. So they're going to go to the school and figure out the real villain here that the Totoro's got to fight or some shit. Uh-huh. And it gets like worse because it's like there's also this super scary scene that's like on a rainy night. It's pitch black outside. They live in the country, so there's no street lights or anything. And they're at the bus stop waiting for their dad to get back from the university because he went to go see their mom first or something.
And it's raining. And it's the cover. If you haven't seen the cover of Totoro, it's the bus stop where the girls are waiting at. But Totoro's nowhere to be seen in the movie.
Right.
So in the movie, they're just waiting for them, and they're still talking about Totoro because I don't believe
the little girl doesn't shut up about it.
I don't believe the older sister has seen him yet.
She hasn't, and she just thinks her younger sister's just talking bullshit. She's like,
shut.
"What Totoro? What giant square beaver are you talking about? Shut up!"
And while waiting for her dad, it starts raining, starts getting late. And it's just on, and they start getting worried. Like, they're kind of start getting worried, and then they see something.
Well, a bus comes by first, and they're like, Dad's bus is here, Dad's bus is here. Their dad doesn't get off the bus, and even, like, the bus attendant lady's like, are you getting on the bus? And they're like, no, we're waiting for our dad. And she's like, well, she's not here. Bus drives up. I'm like, wow, the dad's gonna be dead? Is that gonna be the big...
They're gonna just wait there forever?
Again, in every scene, like, I'm just like, where's the terrible shit? An absolute bomb's gonna drop, and it's gonna blow my mind. Where is it?
Totoro gonna take care of them from now on?
Right, like the Totoro was their fever dreamed illusion from being malnourished. Like, and you're right. So they just start tripping. It feels like Alice in Wonderland. It feels like the Cheshire Cat scene from Alice in Wonderland. Like they just see like a smile and this giant cat and rabbit thing.
Yeah, and now we fucking see a fucking cat buzz. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. Our listeners, the merchandise is there. Like that was.
I don't think I'd seen it.
You don't see it? Yeah,
I don't think I'd seen it.
Yeah,
well, I saw it in the movie, but I hadn't seen the merchandise.
Oh, okay.
I saw the movie also.
No, yeah, definitely. But no, but yeah, they have a lot of merchandise. So Totoro and that thing did a lot good for the.
It's a so like they see headlights coming through like the tree line, and it's a. You called it a cat bus, which is what it is. It's like this 6-legged yellow cat shaped like a bus.
And it's just walking with a hollow inside.
Yeah, with a hollow inside, because it's a bus on the inside. It has
window holes, and then it opens its ear hole, and then you just go in there, and then you just sit down, and it's just like...
And is that where the Totoro came from, or did it just like pop up next to them?
No, he was just chilling. Like, when they saw the cat coming, and then they turned back to that frame, he was already on the side just
breathing, smiling and breathing,
just smiling and breathing.
I don't like that Totoro's really gonna murder them. That's the plot to this movie.
Let's go. I'll murder you.
Murder! I finally get like some negative repercussions for these girls being stupid. Yeah. I'm like, this is where the gore happens, right here.
Start seeing red,
and it's just this tripped ass scene where like May's asleep on her sister's shoulders, and the Totoro just has a stupid leaf on its head. And like water's falling on it because it's fucking pouring raining, and the older sister, what's her name, Satsuki, hands the Totoro like their extra umbrella. Just like, I only need one umbrella. Like me and May can fit under this one. And the Totoro, we get like a full like 30 seconds of like a child learning how to walk almost. Like he's realizing that he's dry underneath an umbrella. The Totoro is, and he's just like, dry. What is dry? How, like he's not speaking. Like, there's no speaking dialogue from the Totoro, but this is how his like reflexes feel, and like when you're because of runoff, like water runoff when it's raining.
I know runoff.
If you're under like a roof or something, that's where like it's falling the heaviest, right? Because the runoff has a higher volume right there. the Totoro is starting to realize that there's a higher volume of like water falling down from the tree line, from the tree line, because they're living the fucking rural and there's big ass forests and shit. And so he just starts fucking around making these giant droplets fall on his own head.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying because he's so heavy and big that he's like shaking the whole ground around him.
Yeah. And yeah, and great animation, by the way. Well, it's funny because like all the raining is just an overlap of rain. Like you can see the rain throughout the entire frame. Like there's no dimensions to the rain. You get me?
Yeah.
And I thought that was a little corny. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're already doing a shitload for the animation.
Right.
But like the rain, it just looks up front. Like,
honestly, I didn't even notice.
You didn't even notice? Yeah.
I didn't even notice. I was just so dumbfounded. Like, well, not even dumbfounded. I was just, this is where I started falling into the movie. Like, I'm finally not looking for like the big trauma around every turn. I'm just like, oh, maybe this is just the movie.
Because it's already like 20 minutes to the end.
Yeah. We're like 45, 50 minutes into this movie, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Maybe this is really just the fucking movie. There's no like danger until the last 10, 15 minutes.
And it comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh shit, this is
oh fuck, May's dead. Oh no. Because it's again, so like May goes to school, like just runs away, just like, well, everyone's at school or at work, and the granny, she loses, and she just like gets lost in the forest. She's trying to get back to her mom.
As soon as you put your walls down,
the
entire fucking movie.
The minute I look away from my dog, she eats my girlfriend's waist trainer.
Bro, it's fucking crazy.
And that's what happens with May here. So like the granny goes to the school, or like Satsuki comes back and she's like, where's May? I lost May. She's been gone all day. This stupid little girl.
Because she had to go to school with a sister at some point, right?
Right.
Because the dad couldn't take care of her.
They left May with the granny,
but
May started crying and just being a big fucking baby. So they were like, oh,
right.
we got to take her to Satsuki, and she sits next to her in class.
And like she's almost embarrassing her. It's weird because then you start seeing a little bit more development on the girls' characters.
Yeah,
because the entire movie they're just having fun, but then you see like, what's her name? Satsuki. Satsuki. She starts getting embarrassed by her, and I was like, that's sad. It's like,
it is sad, but then at that same time, we're getting scenes at night of the girls writing a letter to the mom at the hospital and talking about, hey, we planted acorns in your garden, and we're going to grow a tree in your garden, which is like, number one, the mom's never seen the house because she's been in the hospital this whole time. Number two, like, you can't really grow a whole fucking acorn-producing tree in a garden, which would never grow in that kind of scenario because it's a giant fucking forest tree.
Well, it would grow, but it wouldn't grow, like, in the mom's lifetime with a certain... situation.
Also because we're seeing it through the eyes of children, like May's a literal child. Like she just hangs out in front of this patch of dirt every day, just waiting for these stupid trees to grow. And what's hilarious, and also goes back into that, like, is it real? Did it really happen? Is it just the fever dream and imagination of a child kind of thing, like the Alice in Wonderland? Like, was it real?
Because that's how Spirited Away was almost treated. At the end, was like, oh, I was just in the car the whole time.
Right, that's exactly how Spirited Away was treated. And what happens here, though, is they just kind of, like, wish really hard, and then the Totoro does, like, a dance in front of their little garden. And you just see the Totoro and his two little Totoros that look exactly like him, except like one's white and one's gray.
Brownish, yeah.
And they're just like dancing in front of it, doing like this little ritual. And then the girls jump out of bed, out of their mosquito net, and just start doing it with them.
Some Zelda Lost Forest kind of shit.
Yeah. They might as well be trying to grow the great Deku tree.
And that's what they fucking do.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And this is where like you get that typical Ghibli just like stroking themselves on their own animation.
Check this individual vine grow up.
Yeah, just like, so it's a giant, like, what would be like 1,000-year-old, like, tree just pops out of the ground. But it's not only that, it's like the Totoro starts, like, flying around with them. Like, they show a scene where he's spinning, like, this Beyblade thing, like one of those old school,
Trompos? Like a top?
Yeah, tops with the string on them that spin.
Trompo, yeah.
Is that like the literal translation?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I learned a new word today.
Yeah, trompo.
But yeah, so this is where you start seeing it. They're just like, we're going to show this top in motion. And then we're going to see this literal Totoro standing on top of this top, flying up the tree line while standing on top of the top with the girls like attached to his breast. And he's just flying around. And imagine, you can't show a wide range of scenery in an animated film in 1988 because like, then you'd have to actually animate you moving across like the frame of reference.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens here, though. It's just like, hey, we're going to just do this large fucking pan, which when I'm watching it in context, I'm like, holy shit, this must have taken like weeks to animate this 1 10-second sequence.
It's like almost like Dragon Ball gets away with the fights, quote unquote fights, because it's always like fast move here, fast move here. You don't even have to animate anything. It's just lines here.
The lines just signify like fast motion, but like nothing's actually being animated.
Yeah, and I think that's why I kind of like Baki, because the fighting scenes are pretty dope in Baki, because that's pretty much what it is. But it's not fighting like Dragon Ball fights,
right?
Yeah, but yeah, keep going. Go ahead.
And again, on some Alice in Wonderland shit, they just wake up back in the house and the tree isn't there anymore. So they're like, did it happen? Did we dream that? But their little garden, air quotes garden, has really started to sprout up. And then, so what like there's no real resolution there. Like there's nothing that comes out of that scene, because the very next scene, we're like 20 minutes away from the film ending. Mm-hmm. And this is like 1988, where every film was exactly 90 minutes to include the credits. So every movie's like only an hour and 20 minutes.
Correct.
Because the very next scene is just like the granny goes to Satsuki's school and is like, oh my fucking god, I lost May. I don't know where this stupid little bitch is. And so they get like the whole village, this whole rice village, together to just be looking through the rice fields, looking for this dumb little girl.
Mm-hmm. And we know that she's somewhere holding a fucking corn husk or a corn.
This stupid little girl grabbed a corn
cob.
From.
There you go.
Yeah. A husk of corn that the granny had given her. And this dumb little girl was like, hey, I'm going to go give this to my mom.
This is going to make my mom feel better. Peace out.
Yeah, because like right before this, when May first got out of school, they heard the mom was sick. Like they got a telegram. That's what they got. They got a, not a telegram, but like when somebody would actually show up to your door.
Telegraph?
A telegraph. Thank you. They get a literal telegraph at their door with a note for their dad that says like, hey, your wife's really sick. You should probably go visit her. And they're like, holy shit, mom just died. Oh my fucking god. And this is where I'm gonna get like, no, I'm not falling for it. Not falling for it.
They get one of those singing ones.
Like a scene your mom is dead. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, definitely. You get those vibes.
And so like...
this is what I was talking about. Sorry. This is what I was talking about. Like the raining, the background... Oh, there's not raining anymore. Fuck. Anyways, go ahead.
Describe the scene.
The scene is where we're talking about where he gets the umbrella and he's getting hit by the fucking trees. Mm-hmm. So he jumps and makes all the tree leaves like shake their droplets of water and it just falls. But like that animation of the rain falling is just on top. Like you can literally see that it's just on top and overlay on the entire frame. Like there's no like Shinkai dimensional rain going on.
No, I get it. Yeah. I get it.
It's 88 too.
For context, it's because we're watching the movie in the background and they're at the bus scene.
Yes.
But the scene I'm trying to describe, so they go, because it's the 1950s, nobody has a phone in their house, right? Just
or
like
a TV.
Or a TV. So like just certain people in the village. So they go into the village to try to call the university where their dad works at so that they can tell him that like, hey, you need to go visit mom, which they eventually do. And again, I'm like thinking something bad is about to happen to May because Satsuki finds the phone, calls the dad. May, nobody's watching her. Nobody's watching this 3-year-old girl in fucking 1950s Japan. Like, I don't know how.
Nobody was watching for the kids in My Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, well, because they didn't have anybody to watch that. But, so...
Just kidding, I was just trying to make it terrible.
May almost gets lost, like, by a goat. I'm like, is she gonna get eaten by this goat that's trying to get her corn husk? And no, there's no reason for this 5-minute scene like where May gets lost.
Witch.
No, something bad's gonna happen. Nothing happens. She just finds her sister again. She's like, oh, okay, what's happened next? And Satsuki's just like, well, mom's almost dead. Dad says he's on his way to the hospital. We just gotta sit tight.
Did you describe the sandal scene?
No, not yet. I'm getting there.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting there. So May, being a child, thinking they'd walked to the mom's hospital once before. She's like, I'm just gonna huff it. I'm just gonna go. I need to take my mom this stupid little corn husk. And she just kind of goes while May isn't paying attention to her. And they can't find her. The granny gets the whole rice village together, like I was describing, to try to figure out where the hell she went. And so Satsuki's running around. She's like, I'm just gonna run the whole way. And they're like, girl, that's like a 3-hour fucking hike. How are you gonna walk to this hospital? She's like, fuck it, I got it. Like she's got little legs. I'll beat her there.
By the power of anime.
But at that same time, we're seeing that the people that are going through the rice fields looking for this little girl find a little pink sandal, which we assume to be May's. And the granny's freaking the fuck out. She's praying. The whole rest of the village is like praying, looking in this rice field for this corpse. Yeah. When the whole time Satsuki's like just running over hills, talking to strange teenagers on bikes. And then she gets back and we get like this full 30-second sequence of like the granny giving her the sandal, being like, is this May's? Please tell her this isn't hers. And she's like, nope, that's not it. And we're just like, for what? For what? This movie ends in 10 minutes. And still nothing bad's happened.
Just to hold that high iron that was great with our fireflies close to your fucking face.
Just so you can be traumatized. Just be like, oh, don't you have PTSD? Isn't this scary? A child's about to die.
Now that I think about it, I'm fucking angry at this movie.
It's mean. It feels like bullying. It feels like I was bullied by a whole. It feels like I was bullied by a whole studio.
Damn it, Miyazaki.
It's not even that bad because like
it's a good movie.
Satsuki gets a fucking brain blast, and she's like, "Oh, I'll go ask the Totoro, the crazy forest spirit with the human teeth." And she's just like, Totoro, please, I can't find May. And the Totoro just summons the cat bus. And just magically knows where May is. They pick her up in like rural outside the village. She just got tired. Mm-hmm. She was just outside of the village and just got tired from walking. So they find her, pick her up, take her to the hospital. They're watching this super sweet sign, like this super sweet conversation with the mom and the dad, because the dad got the telegraph and made his way to the hospital. And they're just, the mom's not dying or anything. It's just like, oh, I'm okay. Everything's gonna be fine.
Because the dad went to go visit her, and I can see how in a child's mind can be like, oh shit, dad is going to the hospital. He never goes to the hospital. But you don't notice that. He goes when he has the time to go because he's been so busy with the house.
And work.
He's
an important professor person. He's smart.
So in the naive eyes of this kid, it's like, oh shit, he's going to the hospital. Something must be wrong. Instead of, like, you don't realize that the dad just got done with all his shit. He's like, oh, I want to go see my wife. That's why I moved.
Well, it was also
here.
the telegraph, too, and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing bad would happen because, like, this movie's fucking perfect and there's nothing bad that ever happens. Mm-hmm. Because, like, the girls are in the cat bus on top of the tree outside of her mom's hospital bed. And they're just watching the parents have this super sweet conversation because they're in love with her. Because, of course, it's the perfect family.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, did you hear that? And it's just like, no, baby, I didn't see anything. And they just see the corn husk on the windowsill, and it says like, "For Mom, love May."
I think the dialogue was like, the mom was like, did you feel that?
Ay, Dios mío.
I think the girls were watching us. I'm like, really, bitch? That's what you thought? In a second floor of this fucking house? It's like, that's what you thought, that your two little girls are gonna be watching you? But then, like, the dad's like, oh, they probably were. And then he points at the windowsill, and, like, the corn husk is there. Like,
it's so corny.
This is for you,
it's so corny.
It's corny.
It's so corny. And it feels like the ending to, like, the Peter Pan animated film, where it's just, like, dumbass happy just ending of them just flying through the sky. Which is the exact ending to this movie.
Well, they're all dead.
They're all alive. This movie ends right here with the mom being
I'm saying Peter Pan.
Oh, that's the theory. That's the fan theory. But the ending of this movie is just the little girls flying away from the hospital bed in the cat bus with the Totoro. Happy ending.
Happy ending.
And but what's scary that when you think about it though is like the whole village still doesn't know that Mei's alive.
Oh, you're right. That's right.
The whole village still doesn't know Mei's alive, and Satsuki just got a brain blast and kind of just ran away. So nobody even knows that the girls are all right by the end of the movie. But I'm assuming they just like showed up back at the village and they're like, "Hey guys."
I'm pretty sure, or unless they die off screen on the way back home.
That was the metaphor. They were dead the whole time. They were the angels watching over their mother as she was dead in the hospital.
Aww.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's fucking My Neighbor Totoro. That's the whole film. There's no conflict.
And if you're gonna take anything away from this,
that life shouldn't have conflict. And if your life has conflict, you're the problem.
you're definitely the problem. But if you're gonna take anything away from this, is that honestly you can't really appreciate this movie. I didn't really appreciate this movie until I started talking to you about it.
Yeah, me neither. Right before we started recording, I was so bored watching this movie.
and it's about those things that, I mean, we like anime. You nerds like anime. We like anime. And if it weren't for other anime, we couldn't even appreciate some anime.
We have 35 downloads out of Japan.
Hey, some people are like, "Oh shit!
Oh shit! Yeah. These beaners are talking about fucking anime.
They're making a manga on us right now about how drunk we get and how I pressure you.
I didn't know Mexicans had anime.
They're still talking about Dragon Ball.
Fuck.
But it's good.
It's a good movie.
It's good. If you don't know anything about it, you can also step into it like that. But you have to walk in with like the most purest of hearts.
You should totally watch Grave of the Fireflies first.
And yeah, get that dark in you first.
Yeah, you just fuck you up real quick. Like the PTSD is good.
I've been talking and thinking about this for the entire fucking month, I think, or ever since I watched it. But I think Made in the Abyss broke me. But before we get to that, nerd down. Like I said, Made in the Abyss fucking broke me, dude. I've been thinking about that shit a lot. I'm like, wow, I can't believe people haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. I can't believe people haven't seen Made in the Abyss, period. Like, I can't understand. Like, we're talking about how crazy and traumatic AOT is, how crazy and traumatic Demon Slayer is. How the fuck is Made in Abyss not more popular? It doesn't make more sense.
It is fucking ridiculous, dude. I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm like, wow, it was so happy, but it's dark. Like, I get like flashbacks. I get like,
but it's so good. It's like when we watched it like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago already. Fuck, what is time? For the podcast, and it was my second time watching it through. I'm just like, this is it felt like addicting almost. Like, Grave of the Fireflies is so traumatic. You watch it once and you're like, whoa. Step away from it. It's like
you're like, I'm not gonna touch that in a while.
In a long while. Yeah. I was in a bad place when I watched that. I regret it. I'm
happy now.
I'm a happy person now. It's all right. But you're watching Made in Abyss. You're just like, oh, this is the correct amount of just sad garbage. Oh my god, it's perfect. Yeah. You put
eat it up, bro.
You put what in this? Oh, child brains. Oh my god, I love it so much.
Fake love and manipulation.
Oh, the mom's dead too. Oh,
it's crazy,
there's no
bro.
dad figure at all. Oh. The little girl just wants to find her mother in the metaphorical hell at the bottom of the abyss. Oh,
mutated oyster children.
Sadness and robots and
shit,
trauma, but for children, give me more, please. Just, I can't wait for Made in the Abyss season 2.
Oh yeah,
when does Made in the Abyss season 2 even come out?
I don't know, but I want some more. You heard it, Jeff Bezos.
Please,
you heard it.
Please,
you heard it here first.
It's saying 2022.
2022?
2022, hey, but I don't know when in 2022.
It's September, bro.
It's not very promising.
It's September. It's a mes patrio.
God, that could be anything. And it's on Hulu too. Like, that could literally just drop whenever.
Oh, that's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Jesus.
But before we get anything else on the Nerd Down, please use our new hashtag, Diabetic Nerds. That is DIABETICNERRDS. And we're going to be donating to the Diabetics of El Paso.
The El Paso Diabetes Association.
And Incorporation.
Yeah.
Cool. And every like, retweet, and comments, we'll be sure to put that into our donation for the month. And if you do use the hashtag on original tweet, you're going to be entered into our giveaway. Which, now, we're getting into the winner of the giveaway.
The winner of the giveaway is a follower we've had for a while who we really appreciate for having entered like the past 2-3 months. And he's pretty proactive in our mentions, to be honest. This is at Flower Soup 3. This is at FLOWERSSOUP3. Mr. Hades Soup.
He has like a young Gohan avatar.
I have no fucking idea what this is. It's like a moon god thing. I don't even know. But shout out to you, bro. You just won our shit.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
And if anybody else listening to this wants to win some cool anime shit, because we'll DM Flower Soup 3 right now, get his address, send him some cool anime related figurine, tell us what your favorite anime is, and we'll make sure to get you something related. But for everyone else, like Aldo was saying, please use hashtag Diabetic Nerds to be entered into our September giveaway. It costs you nothing, and we're also giving to the El Paso Diabetic Association.
Yeah, so made in the biz, guys. If you're gonna take, I shouldn't even be speaking, because we are gonna be on our episode 60.5, which is gonna be our season finale, season 2 for Between Nerds.
Right. So after next week, so the next episode after this one, this is episode 59. Next episode over Kiki's Delivery Service will be episode 60. We are doing 30 episode seasons. Episode 60.5 will come out midweek after Kiki's Delivery Service. And we're going to do, it's like our season recap almost. We're going to be just discussing the last 30 episodes, the growth we've done, but we're just probably going to be talking about anime and like the cool shit we've seen and like shit we've disagreed
Best husband does.
But, and just rehashing like old arguments, or maybe we discovered something a little else, or maybe we have points that we didn't get to in original discussion. The finale we did for season 1 was great.
I loved it. I love going back to
it was like 2 hours long. We got to shit on Parasite even more.
And what's the other one with the Blood Kids Prison Break?
Dead Man Wonderland.
Dead Man Wonderland. There you go.
And I season 2 was pretty solid.
Yeah, I think so.
The quality of season 2, like things we've seen and like how good we've gotten at our discussions and just breaking stuff down. Because for season 2, for like we hit a sweet point in like the episode 40s and 50s where like we consistently had episodes over 2 hours long.
Yeah, and we can still do that. I mean, we're at an hour here, but it makes sense. It's Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah, most of our film discussions end up being kind of short, to be honest. Even when we talked about Ghost in the Shell, it wasn't that long.
I like that episode. I got thinking about that episode the other night. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's great talking about this shit. It's weird to know all this fucking anime in its own context.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like annoying that we can use 30 different works now to describe one thing. Because when we were describing things at the beginning of season 2, it's like, oh, we just mentioned we would just compare it to like 3 different animes. It's just like, is it Akabe ga Kill?
Is it Akira?
Is it Akira? Or is it fucking
Darling
Space
the
Dandy? Or Darling in the Franxx or something. Like, just shitting on those 4 things.
NG, we pulled up NG and Madoka a lot.
We had nothing else to compare it to, but now it's just like, remember 2 weeks ago when we talked about Attack on Titan?
This side character in this minute about this fucking... Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And I find that our conversations when we're like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? Sometimes come out of good conversations. Yeah.
A lot of our episodes were like, I go into it being like, wow, we're about to shit on this. End up being a lot better than I expected. Even not Horimiya. What am I thinking of? The really funny one.
Oh, Hinamatsuri?
Dude,
that's on my head too. I'm like, I really like this anime.
You know what I was thinking the other day though? I need some slice of life garbage.
Again, I feel it.
Has it been a while? When was the last time I forced us to watch some slice of life?
Oof. We didn't call it slice of life, but it was Hinamatsuri, and
It's okay.
and
Okay.
and K-On.
That was 2 months. Oh, K-On was like 3 weeks ago. Wow, I'm stupid.
Yeah.
It's because, like, I've been thinking about Horimiya a lot, which I've described in the Nerd Down before, which came out last anime season, which was spring 21. And it's just about, like, teenagers in a relationship. Like, it's literally not about anything. I'm not even sure what the conflict is. It's just 17-year-olds dating.
Nice.
And it's like, but it's so dramatic and so, like, melancholy in the sense that, like
a novela almost?
Kind of. Yeah, kind of, but maybe dramatic's the wrong word, but it's very melancholy.
Cheesy?
No, it's like sad. Like, remember when we were 17
Like,
and being...
I can't be with you because my mom got in a fight.
You don't understand. I have all this trauma from my dad beating me, so that's why I have tattoos and piercings. But your family's so good to me, so I guess I'm in love with you. You get what I'm trying to say. You get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's so like...
My brother just lost his arm.
Yeah.
I can't.
I really wish I had a shoulder to cry on right now. Yeah. I'm failing calculus.
My brother doesn't have a shoulder.
Which there's no... I want to see some garbage like that. We've still, to this day, never seen Rascal Dreams of Bunny Girl Senpai. I don't know how. We talk about it all the time. And every time we leave it up to our audience, they're never going to let us watch it. Ever.
That brings me back to when we do the polls. It's like nobody wants to watch anything that it's not their favorite anime.
Yeah. People are so fucking annoyed. You don't understand. I was watching Adult Swim between 2003 and 2005. Mm-hmm. So if you guys don't discuss exactly Trigun and Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm unsubscribing right now.
By the way, shout out to Rob.
And Valentin. Valentin is annoying as fuck, but, like, I love him to death. Like, that's my boy. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot, like, discuss anime without him being like, how have you and Aldo not seen Death Note yet?
I've seen Death Note.
When we've described... Well, for the podcast.
Okay, for the podcast.
When we've had to break it down multiple times, it's like, bro, it's 40 episodes. It's 37 episodes. Uh-huh. It's really hard to watch 37 episodes in a week, which is why we're having to break it up between, like, movies right now.
Which I love. I did miss movies. I wish we could watch something other than Ghibli movies, but they have such a big selection.
I've tried to make you... I've brought up Redline to you multiple times.
Oh, the car one.
Yeah, the car one, and you've never been down. I've even showed you the trailer before.
Just tell me. This week we're watching that, and then I'll just be like, okay.
And there was something else I was thinking about at the gym the other day, and I don't even remember what it was. I was thinking about Redline, and I was thinking about something else with that kind of, like... Oh, I was thinking of the Studio Trigger movie, Promare. Promare. It's the Studio Trigger movie that it's... Aldo Mendes sent me the trailer to the Star Wars anime episodes 2 weeks ago. One of those episodes will be directed and produced by Studio Trigger.
Oh.
No, you showed me that, right?
Yes.
And Promare is a movie about mechas to the same effect of Gurren Lagann. But it's in that stylized, really modern Studio Trigger art style that we saw in that Star Wars episode. Uh-huh. Or we will see, but we saw it in the trailer. So I've been wanting to watch Promare, because I've never seen Promare. And we haven't watched anything Studio Trigger related in forever.
What was the last time?
Gurren Lagann. But Gurren Lagann even wasn't technically Studio Trigger. It was...
like 3. No, it wasn't 3.
No, it's because it was the studio before the guy that made Studio Trigger left.
Right.
Which I can't even remember off the top of my head. But you brought up earlier that we could finally watch Kill la Kill, maybe, which you'd be really open to. And I don't know if you'd like Kill la Kill. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's...
But this is the thing, you always think that.
It's because sometimes I'm right.
But more times you're wrong.
Sometimes I really am right. And I'm just like, I'm just going to hate this. It's because the thing about Kill la Kill is it also needs context. Because when Kill la Kill came out, it was Studio Trigger's first independently.
If it's not straight fire out of the get-go, bro, I don't give a shit. I'm just playing no.
It needs context in the sense that Kill la Kill was Studio Trigger's first independently funded production, to the point that they had to cancel it halfway through the season. Not even halfway through the season, like episode 15, 16, 17, something like that. So at a random point in the season, the quality of the anime just fucking tanks because they ran into issues like on some Studio Mappa director AOT shit where like just exhaustion and just funding caught up to them that they couldn't produce 2 episodes week to week. To the point that I was watching it week to week when it came out, because I remember the anime community would just not shut the fuck up about it. Like, it was just like, Studio Trigger, Studio Trigger, Studio Trigger, Kill la Kill, Kill la Kill, Kill la Kill. And it hadn't, that was before it even came out. And then it comes out, and it's super cool, it's super stylized, it was super original at the time, but it was just so clear that they couldn't keep up with what they were doing in the early episodes of the season, that at a certain point, like, the quality just fucking tanks, and then it picks back up for, like, the last 3 episodes, and you're just like, out of context, I would think that's super weird, because like that's why I'm so interested in watching it again. And like, I can't wait to see, can I pick up on the episodes that like the cancellation actually happened, because I remember I was in school at the time. I was at Texas Tech, and I was watching it week to week, and then the day of the week it was supposed to come out, I remember turning it on and be like, where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? Jump on Twitter, and it's just like, hey guys, this whole anime might be canceled. Yeah. It might be canceled indefinitely. We're probably never going to finish the season. Yeah, somebody almost died. Everyone's dying of exhaustion, and they're out of money. I was like, what the fuck?
Keep going, nerds. What the fuck?
Keep going. What the fuck? If Kyoto Animation can do it.
It's so fucking sad almost.
Yeah.
That we like this shit so much, and nerds just get pissed off at this poor dying Japanese man.
Yeah. I wonder how old fucking Miyazaki is now that I'm thinking about it.
Shit, he might be out the door already.
All his movies are about the 1940s and 50s. I don't know. Who even knows how old he is? He is
eternal, 80. Like Totoro.
He's 80.
Bro.
There's no way he still has say in his films, right?
Shit, he's got the wallet for it.
No, but like, he's old. Like,
no.
Do you think he's still like
goes in there and be like, you're not sad enough?
Like, no. Do you think he has like the mental capacity?
No, I think he's retired.
Right? Yeah. Right. Okay. So, like, could he really roundtable a meeting where they're trying to discuss the new film?
Well, have you ever seen the life of the fucker in the chapsticks? The Burt's beeswax?
What are you talking about?
You know, like, old guy in the fucking beeswax chapstick?
I know the chapstick. I don't know what old guy you're referring to.
The little face, the little logo. That dude's still alive.
I don't even remember there being an old guy. Are you saying Bert? Bert from Burt's Bees is still alive?
Yes, dude. And he's retired, and he has an assistant, and he lives on a farm, and he's just cashing in.
Okay.
And he's just working
Good
every
for
day.
him.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know how Miyazaki is doing. Hopefully he's doing fine. Hopefully he's happy. Hopefully he's playing with his grandchildren, if he ever had any. You know?
I don't even know if he ever got married to... Oh, it says he has children.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, we got married in 1965.
Cool. 65 he got married? Damn, this guy's like 200. Oh, no, wait.
Bro, he was born in 41. This man was 24 years old when he got married. That's pretty
good.
Average for the 60s.
Yeah.
That's pretty old to get married in the 60s. Yeah, that's pretty old for a Japanese man in the 60s to get married.
Yeah, but what are we talking about? We're talking about
Made in Abyss. We're talking about Made in Abyss. We're talking about how old Miyazaki is.
And then we're talking about Rob. Rob, we hear you. We might, hopefully you are here for our guest episode.
Right? Yeah. Mr. Robbie Quintela.
Thank you, Rob, for using the hashtags as well. He's been pretty active lately.
Yeah. I follow him on Twitter, on my personal Twitter too.
Me too.
And he was talking about how he got COVID on a road trip to Montana
while listening to us.
Yeah, while listening to us, which was like, okay, cool. That's totally within the Between Nerds theme. Like, you got COVID while doing a road trip and listening to our shitty podcast. That's amazing. That's like my favorite story, bro.
It's cool. I mean,
I want that story printed on a shirt. Robbie got COVID while listening to Between Nerds podcast.
And this wasn't no fucking road trip. This guy went to like Montana or something like that. It was like
it's like 32 hours. Something stupid. Like,
I don't think we even have 32 hours in the podcast.
Any drive over like 10 hours for me does not register. Like, does not compute in my brain. Like,
Vegas is 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm thinking like LA is like 11 hours, maybe something like that.
San Diego's 10.
Anything farther than like LA, I can't fathom driving that.
You're like, that's impossible.
That doesn't exist.
I need to take a plane.
Yeah, exactly. It's $500 for a one-way. Fuck it. Like, there's no way I can drive 12 hours. It's impossible.
People do it for a living.
No human can do that.
Jesus Christ. People do it for a living. Truckers are wild. But
like, for real, I want that printed on a shirt. Robbie Quintela got COVID while listening to Between Nerds podcast.
Yeah. Hell yeah. He's better now. He's good.
The back of the shirt, he's good.
Hashtag he's good. And what else? I've been watching What If. You're behind on What If, which it's understandable. Honestly, the animation is good in the context of Disney and Marvel, but they could have done a lot better. Like the style of it. Like once you start watching it, the style that they went with, it's almost like different style of tattoos. Yeah. You either hate it or you love it. You got a traditional American tattoo, you got the traditional Japanese, you have like cartoony and all that bullshit. So
it's because like 3D animation feels cheap to me. It always feels cheap to me now because I've watched so much anime and like because
people are dying doing this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, bro, it takes so much quality and effort to produce a 2D anime that people literally die from exhaustion from it. 3D graphics were made to cheat that process because they were tired of people dying. Whenever I see something that's entirely 3D CGI, I'm just like, trash, garbage. It's too easy. No, it doesn't look like the people that produce this wanted to kill themselves. Not down.
I can't remember which DreamWorks piece was, or I don't know if it was Toy Story, but it took like 10 years to make. Dinosaurs. Do you remember Dinosaurs?
I thought you were going to say Treasure Planet.
No, do you remember Dinosaurs?
Yes.
Yeah, that movie took 10 years to make.
Don't you mean Treasure Planet?
I don't know, do I?
Because hold on. The guys that made... Because Dinosaur...
Movie, I'll look up my movie.
Well, Dinosaur was also a DreamWorks film. And then I know Treasure Planet was also DreamWorks, but it's because there was like a duo at the time that were producing a bunch of films back to back for... Do you mean Dinosaur, the Disney one?
I believe so.
The blah 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 Eric Layton, Ralph Zandog. The guys I'm thinking of are Ron Clements and John Musker. They had produced like all of the really high class Disney movies in the 90s. Like,
I think you might be right.
Am I think?
Yeah, I think you might be right.
I'm talking about Treasure Planet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they were... I don't know how I know this, but I think I was watching Mother's Basement. I bring him up all the time.
But it was DreamWorks, right?
No, it is Disney.
Oh, Pixar, DreamWorks. Oh, no, DreamWorks is not Disney. Right?
It wasn't at this time, but it is
okay.
now.
Oh, okay.
But Treasure Planet is produced and directed by Walt Disney Studios. But there were these two producers in the 90s that made all of the big Disney films. Their names are... I just said it like twice. Ron Clements and John Musker. They made Aladdin, Hercules, Little Mermaid, Great House Detective, Black Cauldron, The Fox and the Hound. Just all those bangers, right? But these were never the movies they wanted to make. They wanted to make a 2D American animated film that incorporated 3D CGI, which was like a brand new technology at the time, like late 90s, early 2000s. And like make a movie that was just like a sci-fi Star Wars adventure at that same time. So after making those like 5-6 bangers that made Disney billions of dollars, they finally got to produce the movie they wanted, Treasure Planet. And it tanked so bad that Disney lost like hundreds of millions of dollars like trying to make this one movie.
Yeah.
But if you were to watch it now, Treasure Planet, I watched it like 5 years ago for the first time in like a while, and it blew my mind that they made this in like 2001, 2002.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like it feels like us watching the Totoro flying through the forest scene. Like it's such a mindfuck of quality that it doesn't even... It's so weird to see for the first time, or if you haven't seen it in a while.
I honestly, I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
You need to watch Treasure Planet. you're gonna love it. For how much anime I've made you watch in the past year and a half, you're gonna absolutely fucking love Treasure Planet.
I know the movie, but no, I can't think of it.
It's the fucking plot to
Atlantis.
Yes, and it looks like Atlantis too, but better.
Yeah.
Oh god, you should just watch this.
We'll watch it.
But between now and you have a week and a half. We're recording this on a Wednesday. We will not record until like 10 days from now.
Okay, I'll do it. We're gonna go camping this weekend.
We're going camping this
weekend. Are you
weekend.
excited? What are your preparations? Oh, I can't close my computer.
Please don't close your computer. I'm recording a podcast, sir.
I'm sorry.
You watch it. Just because I close my laptop doesn't mean you can't too.
The bell doesn't dismiss you.
I do. Drew Elias dismisses you.
What's it called?
We're going camping this weekend.
What are your preparations? What are you doing? What survival tactics do you have?
I will stay near the campsite all the time. No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stay near Mama Mendez because I know I know you're gonna keep her safe. So if a bear attacks, just stay near Mama Mendez. Like
if me and V die, please give my son to Jacob and don't keep him, please.
I'm giving your mom. I don't know what you're talking about. or V's parents. Why would I give him Jacob?
I don't know. This scenario happens in the future, okay?
Jacob's
my
one
mom's
of the
not
last
around.
scenarios.
I'm sorry I think about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, we're going camping.
Which is
why we're recording so early, which is why this nerd down... I was going to say why it's so, like, short. Well, we've still been talking for, like, 20, 30 minutes.
We've been talking about, 30 minutes probably.
But,
yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, that was it, bro. But,
what preparations are you doing? What are you doing?
None.
Karen
stole her dad's pickup truck.
Cool.
And
GTA?
Is stealing his tent.
GT.
I'm going to my parents' house tomorrow to pick up a couple of sleeping bags that have never been used.
Good. Those are the best.
Because my parents have not a trailer home, but a camper.
Uh-huh.
And
RV?
Yeah. And apparently the only person that ever uses these sleeping bags is my sister once. So hopefully she didn't fart in it, but she's gross, so probably.
Mm-hmm. It's probably still in there. You should wash it first.
She sealed the fart in the sleeping bag
for you to use.
Just for me. She just knew that I was going to end up having to use the sleeping
20-year-old fart.
That's fucking disgusting. And fuck, I don't know. I hope we have a good time. I hope everyone's safe and we don't get attacked by any stupid bears.
When are the nerds getting this episode? They're getting it on the weekend, right?
They're getting this episode Monday at 7 a.m.
Cool. And nerds, this has been
Between
Nerds.